Hey! Hey! Hey, Helen! Helen! There! Hey! That boy Eon! He's doing another video! He's doing another video right now! Yeah! No. Now you get the popcorn and you get me my six-pack! Alright? Because we gonna get entertained!
Equality, freedom and honesty. I believe that I'm a born leader.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that's our friend Mr. Low-Key in our background. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the anniversary! It's the anniversary of 9/11. I want you guys to see something that was done in 2009. Hey, hold on, Lo. Ladies and gentlemen, the British artist, Low-Key, in our background. We're going to pause him for a second so that we can focus on this world trade.
New York City, 2001. No tall building had ever collapsed primarily due to fire.
Wait, hold on. No tall building had ever collapsed due to fire. No. It has never happened in history before. Ever. No tall building. Well, unless you go back to Rome, or you go back to no, you got to go all the way back to Rome. Okay, no tall building made out of steel had ever collapsed due to fire. Now wait, hold on. Pay attention. You see the fire right there? Fire's over there. What about this side of the building? Wait, fire's over here. What about this side of the building? It's not on fire over here. There's no fire down here. Fire is over here! Well, what about this side of the... No fire over here. It's not engulfed in flame. Wait, take a look. Oh, by the way, did you see the video? Go back and look at Alex Jones. Sorry. Alex Jones did a video. And you know the individual's Truth is Change? Or something like that. I forgot the name of that organization, but I think it is Truth Has Changed, something like that. Go back and look at their documentary on this, where they're interviewing the HUD supervisor. The black guy, you know, the one who, right after he did the video, he suffered a heart attack or something and died. Go back and listen how he says there wasn't a lot of fire. Sprinkler systems, everybody. There wasn't a lot of fire. He says that. He says, and they just told us to evacuate, that the building was going to blow. Then you hear the police, it's going to blow! It's going to blow, not it's going to collapse. It's going to blow! Go back and watch the videos. Hold on, we're going to let her continue.
But that's exactly what investigators believe happened to the 47-story World Trade Center Building 7.
What the flying fart? A fire over here caused all of this? Ladies and gentlemen, that's called free fall. I'm free falling. Okay, that's called free fall. Free falling. This has never happened in history where a fire made out of thermite has caused... Oh, yes, it has. Only with thermite. Oh, what about without thermite? Well, no, it has never happened in history, and it could not happen in history or in anybody's lifetime. Does not exist. So, I am not here to tell you that 9/11 was a joke because people died. No, I'm not here to tell you that 9/11 was fake because we have individuals who are eyewitnesses to 9/11 happening. I am not going to tell you that it was the government who did it because we have no proof of that. What I am going to tell you is the National Safety Organization, National Institute of Safety and Technology. Okay, they are the ones who did this report, and they have discovered, well, no, excuse me, I apologize. No, they haven't discovered. They believe. You remember Low Key talking about, I believe. They believe. Don't believe me? No, y'all don't believe me. Hold on. National Institute No, we got to get that title again because I didn't get that. This is their information. This is not some, standards and technology. So National Institute of Standards and Technology, the United States Department of Commerce. Out of all the departments, this is the United States Department of Commerce who did the investigation. National Institutes of Standards and Technology. This is their video, not mine. This is not no conspiracy theorist video. This is their video. So don't sit up here and get on my case because I'm pointing out what they said. Now hold on. See why the building fell.
New York City, 2001.
Yay!
No tall building had ever collapsed primarily due to fire.
Never, ever, 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 ever has it ever happened.
But
No
that's
fire
exactly
over
what
here.
investigators believe happened to the
Did you hear her? That's exactly what investigators believed happened. That's what they believe. It's not that's what happened. No, that's what they believed happened. They believed. That's all it's about, ladies and gentlemen. You got to believe in something. You got to believe in
47-story
something.
World Trade Center Building 7
47
on
stories.
September 11th.
Did you see that building
According
just
to
fall?
a 3-year comprehensive building and fire safety investigation just completed by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST.
World Trade Center 7 collapsed because of fires. We really have a new kind of progressive collapse that we have discovered here.
It's new. It has never happened before, but it happened to 3 buildings in one day at the same time. Whew, we're living in historic times, everyone. And since that happened 20 years ago, it has never happened since. It never happened prior, and it hasn't happened since. Whew, yes, I'm a believer. I am a believer. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Who do I thank for being a believer in this this stuff? Who do I thank? Because there's so many other people who are joining me in believing that this bull could actually happen. So who do we thank for? The National Institutes of Standards and Technology, because they understand the standards, because they set them and they said, hey, all of your buildings have to meet these standards, which is why they had the permit to tear down the World Trade Center, because it had asbestos and it had so many other flaws that they were going to have to either completely overhaul the buildings or tear it completely down. Well, they tore it down and rebuilt. Hold on. Let's hear him again, please.
Which is a fire-induced progressive collapse. And in fact, we've shown for the first time that fire can induce a progressive collapse.
For the first time. Never happened before. For the first time. Never happened since. For the first time. Yes, progressive collapse. There is a new phrase. Progressive collapse. So let me show you about our progression. Hold on. Let's show this, because see, fire over here. No fire over here. So where was the progression? Oh, snaps. Hold on. We ain't gonna do it without their audio right now. So hold on. Well, let's see the progression. Tick tock. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. Do you see the progression? Yes, it progressively collapsed. That is amazing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the problem. Because they're a government agency, they're supposed to tell the people the truth. That's why no one can misrepresent government, because when government speaks, people believe what they say, because government has been put in place to tell the truth to people. They did an investigation and First, he says he believes. Then after he says he believes, what does he do? He then talks about it being a fact. Watch the way he speaks as if it's a fact. Now, he's wearing a power tie. Understand, he's not wearing the red tie for any reason other than the fact to show that he is in a position of power and authority. This is a power symbol. They don't do this for their health. This is done, and you see this hat right here? This is placed there for a reason. There is no reason for this hat to be on this desk. Then he has all of this paperwork on the desk to show you that he does a whole lot. Okay, that's what he's doing that for. He's doing a whole lot, and this is their website. And then you see in the background, he's got a diagram, and he's got graphics on the screen, and his screen is on, and it's very dark in here. This shows you that he focuses only on what's in front of him, that there is nothing obscure on the walls for him to be distracted by. He's wearing glasses to let you see that he's got some intelligence, because glasses have always been known to show a sign of intelligence. He's clean shaving to let you know that he's serious about his work and his decorum when he comes to work, and he's wearing a suit. Oh, look at that, mommy. He's wearing a suit. That means he's a businessman. Let's not just stop there. Let's not stop there. He's older, which means that and see the little gray hair shows a little bit of sign of, he's got a little bit of wisdom. Let's continue.
We really have a new kind of progressive collapse that we have discovered here, which is a fire-induced progressive collapse. And in fact, we've shown for the first time that fire can induce a progressive collapse.
NIST used detailed data describing the building and its contents to create the most complex computer simulation of a structure.
Now, do you see? This shows the building collapsing on one side, but we go back and we see that the entire building fell together, not progressively collapsed on one side, progressively collapsed. It did not fall this way, but we're going to look at their diagram because this is their computer
collapse ever made.
graphics. See, look at that.
Falling debris from Tower 1 started fires on 10 floors in Building 7.
Fires
A break
on
in the
10
city water main
floors?
from the collapse of the towers disabled sprinklers in the lower half of WTC 7, allowing fires on those floors to burn for 7 hours. The NIST computer model was validated with evidence from videos, photos, witness accounts, and other data. It shows that heat from fires expanded long support beams, causing connections and floors to fail.
So you look at the floors failing here, and eventually this column 79 is going to buckle.
Hold on. We got it. We got to see this again. I'm gonna mute that so that we don't get to hear. Now remember, there's fire on 10 floors. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay attention. There's fire on 10 floors. Go back and watch the videos. Ladies and gentlemen, go back and watch the videos. There is actual video of this building. Now, because of a water main break, ladies and gentlemen, what you don't understand is they are supposed to have water storage on site. So there's supposed to be water, enough water to temporarily take care of this building until the fire department is supposed to get there. Go back and watch the videos that were done by We Are Truth. I think that's the name of the videos. We Are Truth. They did 9/11. All you got to do is look at the 9/11 videos. Give me a second. It would be 2001. See, these are all videos done recently. So we need the 9/11 videos done 2001. We'll do that in a second. What I want to do is I want to show you. They said 10 floors were on fire. You don't see any smoke over here. Now the smoke is all blowing that way. But if 10 floors are on fire, then we should see smoke over here. Not all the way over here. Do you follow me? We should see smoke over here, and this smoke should be billowing and black. This smoke should be black. If you've ever seen a fire, I've seen fires before in buildings. I've had a building catch on fire in front of me. Their smoke is not black. As a matter of fact, I actually, when I was younger, drove by somebody's house that was on fire. And everybody was outside. And they were outside trying to put a fire out from the outside. And I grabbed the water hose from them and I went inside with the water hose and put out the fire. That's what I did. But I'm in that house breathing in black smoke, not gray smoke. Okay? That means that the fire was not intense. Shh! Don't tell nobody. Hold on. Let's take a look at the progressive collapse. Whew. That is a progression, all right. Now, remember, according to these individuals, their progressive collapse was progressive from one side to the other. They did the graphics. So we're going to let it play. Sorry. They did the graphics. They showed for the first time in history progressive collapse. You see how it all starts over here, but the front and the back goes down. And then before you see the whole
Floors in Building
diagram,
7. A break in the city water main from the collapse of the towers disabled sprinklers in the lower half of WTC 7, allowing fires on those floors to burn for 7 hours. The NIST computer model was validated with evidence from videos, photos, witness accounts, and other data. It shows that heat from fires expanded long support beams, causing connections and floors to fail.
So you look at the floors failing here, and eventually this column 79 is going to buckle, it fails, and then the entire vertical progression takes place.
The buckled column caused additional collapsed floors and falling debris that removed support from adjacent interior columns. A chain reaction then caused other interior columns to fail in quick succession. The outside shell of the building fell. The NIST team found no evidence that explosives were involved in the collapse.
And our analysis showed that even the smallest explosive charge that was capable of bringing down.
ladies and gentlemen, the reason why they are speaking about explosive charges is because the individuals who brought about the information on the thermite, the explosive charges were not real explosions like you saw in the World Trade Center. World Trade Center, definitely explosion. That's why you don't see them talking about the World Trade Center. In this one, there were no quote-unquote explosive charges other than for individuals to suggest, I'm saying, suggest the thermite being released on the columns to eat through the columns. Again, you don't believe me? Go back and watch the videos. It was 2001 when those videos were done. You could not, those were eyewitness reports of what was going on. People who were actually inside the building. We're not talking about World Trade Center. We're talking about building number 7. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take the time, because we're going to do about a 25-minute video. I'm going to take the time to look for that. So give me a second, okay?
The critical column in the building, had it occurred, we would have seen sound levels of 120 to 130 decibels about a half a mile away. That would have been an incredibly loud sound, and that sound.
Again, they weren't talking about those type of explosions. Be right back.
Sit there and try and make out anybody.
Okay, let me ask you this, Piers. Wait a minute. Let me Let me ask you something. How much studying have you actually done of 9/11 other than what the
Ladies and gentlemen, this was a CNN interview of Jesse Ventura, former governor Jesse Ventura, and they're having a conversation about 9/11. I want you to hear the question that Jesse Ventura asked. Now, I've been asking this question not because of Jesse Ventura and other people. I've been asking this question because I was watching the news that day, and I remember watching BBC and this reporter, that Jesse Ventura, because he's asking him, how much research have you done? Look at him. Do you see? He's trying to figure out how to counteract what Jesse's saying, because he's got to try to make it seem like he's a kook or he's a conspiracy theorist, because that's the rule, isn't it? Let's see.
The government's told you and what mainstream media has told
actually.
you.
I was editor,
I've been studying it 4 years.
I was editor of a national newspaper.
I've talked
and
to
we covered
people.
it in depth every day for
Really?
5-6 months.
Really?
So I know a lot about it.
Well,
and one
then
thing
how
I do
come?
know is,
let me ask you this
you
then.
cannot say that any member of the Bush administration knew it was going to happen or wanted it to happen. It's a ridiculous thing to say.
Ridiculous. Okay, let's talk about your BBC. I have a tape of a BBC reporter broadcasting directly back to England, talking about a third building has collapsed, World Trade Center Building 7, talks for 7 minutes. All the while she's talking, World Trade Center Building 7 is still standing right behind her. It didn't fall for another half hour, yet they were doing a pre-broadcast back to England that, yes, it's true,
you need to
that
take
this
a break
building fell and it hadn't fallen yet.
If you're trying to make out the British Broadcasting Company, one of the most respected news organisations in the world, was inventing huge buildings falling over, you need to have a break, Jesse. We'll come back after the break and we'll talk about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, look, you see how he cuts Jesse off? He doesn't rebut what he says. He just says, if you're saying this, if you're saying that, it doesn't have anything. Jesse wasn't talking about the BBC inventing this. He was saying that the BBC was doing a pre-broadcast, but they technically weren't doing a pre-broadcast. She was actually speaking as the building having actually fallen already. Here's what I want you to know. I didn't know that that was the Solomon and Solomon building. I didn't find out that building 7 was Solomon and Solomon. I only knew it was Solomon and Solomon because they were debt collectors. I didn't know that that was the building behind her. I just heard her doing the report. I had no idea what building 7 was. So, ladies and gentlemen, need you to hold on another second. We got another 3 minutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what's in my background is Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory. You guys remember conspiracy theory? I remember conspiracy theory because it came on True TV. And when he came out with this, he also came out with FEMA camps and so many others. But go back and watch conspiracy theory. Okay, you can find it. This is the second of the videos in the conspiracy theory trilogy, quadrilogy. It only lasted for 2 seasons. Hold on 1 second, okay? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's pay attention to this right here, just for a second. I'm going to have to minimize it. It won't let me do both.
So do you believe that there was in World Trade Center 7, but also in buildings 1 and 2 as well?
Yes. Yes, I do. We do have good evidence for the use of explosives. Sure, they were hit by planes. I'm not challenging that. But I'm saying that's not the full story, because there's residues of explosives in the dust.
Professor Jones claims the residue is...
Now, the information I was just showing you was a scientist named Dr. Jones who said that when they examined the dust, yes, the dust from the explosion, because remember, they got rid of all the metal so that they couldn't test the metal. When they examined the dust, they found thermite in the residue for Building 7 and the World Trade Centers. The other World Trade Centers. But we're not finished yet. Hold on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's the final segment. I had to actually go to Google to find the YouTube video because they took down the original videos. The We Are Change videos are not as easy to find as they were before. All you had to do is just type in Building 7 and the We Are Change videos popped up automatically. So I had to go to Google and type in Building 7 BBC. Okay, and the video that comes up, did you know, BBC, and it talks about Building 7. So give my screen a little moment to buff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is video from BBC, the date of the collapse. I want you all to pay attention to the video and what's being said and how it is in real time. One moment.
Now, more on the latest building collapse in New York. You might have heard a few moments ago, I was talking about the Salomon.
Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is live from the day September 11, 2001. And notice that he talks about the latest building collapse.
Brothers building.
Hold on, the video overlay is the issue.
Indeed it has. Apparently that's only a few hundred yards away from where the World Trade Center towers were. And it seems that this yards away from where the World Trade Center towers were. And it seems that this was not a result of a new attack. It was because the building had been weakened during this morning's attacks. We'll probably find out more now about that from our correspondent, Jane Stanley. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy. There's almost a sense
now, ladies and gentlemen, I need you guys to, I said 25 minutes, I apologize. This is going to be the last segment. I just need you to pay attention. Behind her, right here, is building number 7. Now hold on. Remember, she's broadcasting live. Okay? And the building that she's broadcasting is showing that another building has collapsed. That's the report. And she's speaking about the Salomon Brothers building. This is the report I watched this morning, September 11th, 2001. My phone is ringing because my friends are saying, you said something like this was going to happen. My phone is ringing almost off the hook that morning. I'm talking to people while this is going on. I'm listening to the news and we're talking about this. We're talking about the third building that has collapsed. We don't know which building is the Solomon. We don't live in New York. So pay attention, please, because this is important. I go by proof. You guys, if you watch my videos, I show you what I'm talking about, which is why I've taken the time to pull all of this up. This video has taken greater than an hour and a half because I had to find this information. It's out there. The truth is out there. It's out there. The truth is out there. Hold on.
The World Trade Centers of just an area completely closed off as the rescue workers try to do their job. But this isn't the first building that has suffered as a result. We know that part of the Marriott Hotel next to the World Trade Center also collapsed as a
building number 7.
Huge amount of
building number 7. Move your head out of the way. Building number 7. Get your big head out of the way. Building number 7. This is building number 7. She doesn't even know building number 7. This is building number 7. She says it's collapsed. Building number 7. 10 floors are on fire. Building number 7. Building number 7. Building number 7. It's live. Building number 7.
Presumably there were very...
Ladies and gentlemen, building number 7. Building number 7. She's reporting live that... Wait, hold on. Let me show you about live. Hold on.
Indeed it has. Apparently that's only a few hundred yards away from where the
World
Trade Center...
What did you say?
Building collapse in New York. You might have heard a few moments ago I was talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing. And indeed it has. Apparently that's only a few hundred yards...
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is live. Building number 7 has collapsed. Live. And then while we are speaking live, building number 7 has collapsed. Here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't take into account that Britain is 7.5 hours to 9 hours ahead of us. I think it's 7 to 9 hours. I don't know which one. But it's several hours ahead of us. This is being done live on the BBC. They didn't take into account Americans having cable. Sorry, because when you plan things like I do for the most part, you have to plan for every contingency. So while she is giving this broadcast, building number 7 is right here, and she's reporting it as already having collapsed. And They say it was due to the weight of the debris. Hold on. Let's let him tell you.
Collapse in New York. You might have heard a few moments ago, I was talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing. And indeed it has. Apparently that's only a few hundred yards away from where the World Trade Center towers were. And it seems that this was not a result of a new attack. It was because the building had been weakened.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before there had been any reports, before there had been a collapse, they were already foretelling how the building collapsed. It had been weakened. That's why people don't believe it. It's not conspiracies and theories. It's based upon the facts. These are the facts. You cannot change history. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody can change history. Go ahead and try. This was reported live. No one can change history. You don't have that type of power, no matter who you are. Has nothing to do with conspiracies. That's why Jesse Ventura was saying what he was saying. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't get this information I witnessed this myself. Eyewitness news. I witnessed this broadcast. I told you, at that time, I had a habit of turning on the news when I woke every morning. So by 6 a.m., my television, when I went to sleep at night, was on CNN. Back then, they actually did actual broadcasting, and they did integrity. At least so I thought. CNN, because I pretty much liked their format, I watched CNN every morning. My TV was on CNN. Even in the background while I am doing my work, it was on CNN. 2001, my television was on CNN. 1996, 1994, 1995, we watched the news. That was the tradition. My mother made us watch the news every evening. That's why I watch NBC Nightly News or Tom Brokaw. Those were the people, okay, that I watched. So this is something that I watched, and I remembered her broadcast. I didn't pay too much attention to it. I just remembered she had talked about the building collapsing. And so when We Are Change did the video, I'm like, wait a minute, I saw that. Remember I told all of you that I remembered them broadcasting that morning that there was a plane that had gone missing over Pennsylvania. And they were sending out two F-16s, not F-14s, not F-15s, F-16s to intercept. Only 3 years ago, was it 3 years ago? Yes, I believe it was 3 years ago, did the pilot of one of those F-16s do an interview. And she talked about going out to intercept the plane, but by the time they arrived, the plane had already crashed into the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, if these individuals were definitely taking a plane and crashing it into the ground, there would have been a crater. And it would have been nose first. And you would have seen the wings and the fuselage. Go back and look at the pictures of the Pennsylvania crash. There's no fuselage. Go ahead. Don't take my word for it. Go back and look. There's no fuselage. There's just debris, but there's no fuselage. Don't take my word for it. Go back and look. There's no fuselage. There is no engine parts. There's no bodies scattered all over the place. Sorry, Gorick. But it's not there. The absence of evidence does not actually equate to the absence of evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, the absence of evidence is the absence of evidence. They put forth the theory. There was a theory that Building 7 had collapsed. Then they provided us with the, pay attention, proof that it didn't collapse. So the conspiracy theory was Building 7 had collapsed. The reality was Building 7 had not collapsed. She was a psychic or an oracle or something. Building 7 is right here. This is a live report on the collapse of building number 7. It doesn't collapse for another 30 minutes. And the report by the NST, whatever that is, National Institute of something in technology, structure and technology, okay, they said it was because of debris falling on top of the building. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the top of this building. There's no debris. Remember that first video we did? Look at the top of the building. There's no debris. Oh, the debris had already blah, 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 blah. You better believe that the debris had already blah, 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 blah. There's no debris. Go back and look. You don't see any collapsing of any portion of the building, even when we're looking at the ones that showed the fire several moments ago. Remember it talked about how there were fire on 10 floors? Even that one, and I don't believe that for a second. I believe that, well, anyway. Let's just say this, ladies and gentlemen. Go back and look. You don't see any collapse of that building when you see the fire from those floors. There was no collapse section if debris had fallen on the building and several floors had been damaged. You don't see that. The fire is on the inside, not on the outside. The fires are on the inside, not on the outside. If debris had indeed fallen onto this building, and it had indeed collapsed as a result of that debris, then we should be 46 stories worth of a building. We should be seeing some collapse initially, not collapse later. If it was truly weakening, we should see some collapse. If you've ever been on top of a chair that had a broken leg and you sat in that chair, before that chair falls, you hear crack, 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 and next thing you know, I've fallen and I can't get up. Okay? There is a progression. That's why they call it a progressive collapse. So what I'm asking for is show us the original, the debris that fell on top of the building. We have pictures of before, so show us the pictures before. There's no debris on top of the building. She's 30 minutes before the collapse. There's no debris. There is smoke. And the smoke is not coming from the top. The smoke is coming from below. Let's see if we can give you guys a shot of the smoke. I think, no, not there. I think we have to go here. There you go. Okay, you see the smoke? It's not coming from the top, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming from here, this area, on the other side of the building. So if the debris truly did, and you see it's coming from the inside, not the top. If the debris fell on the top, we should have smoke coming up from the top. Hey, don't take my word for it. Go talk to the scientists. Go talk to the engineers. Go talk to the structural technologists. And ask them why. Well, because of the winds. That's right, because of the winds. But we still would have smoke from the top blowing that way. We would not have smoke coming from this area because that's where this smoke is coming from. You see the angle? Okay? So the wind is blowing that way, but it's not blowing at 100 miles an hour. So we still should be seeing smoke coming from this area. When you look at the World Trade Center, look at the smoke. It's not blowing from the top, it's blowing from the area that was impacted. Shh, don't tell nobody. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to do is we bring that smaller. I want to go back to low key. And we want to talk about what I do. Hey, low key, where you go? Uh-oh, sorry, low key gone. It wasn't supposed to go there. It was supposed to go back to low key. So we're going to have to play low key again. I apologize that we went to R, but we're going to go back to I Believe because this is my boy. And this is low key. And he talking about what he do. He believes, y'all. So low key is going to take us on out of here. Okay, y'all? Thank you all for taking your time and listening.
Get the chance. I believe life's a lesson. We're all students in class. I believe the MCs are confusing this art. There's lies on my telly, but there's truth in my heart. Do you believe in yourself? Not that stupid to ask, cause I believe.
See the smoke? Do you see the smoke? I believe. I believe.